McDonald's has a New Year's resolution: build a better burger. Hi there again, Jeff here for another Plain English. This time it's lesson 637. Maybe you have listened to all 637 episodes, but maybe this is your first one. If it is, then welcome. And remember, every episode is someone's first episode. And if that's you today, then you have found a great way to upgrade your skills in English, because right here we use stories, usually about current events, but sometimes about whatever pops into my head. We use stories to help you expand your vocabulary and get exposure to English. In today's story, McDonald's is making some of the biggest changes in decades to its most important menu item, the burger. This goes for the Big Mac, the Quarter Pounder with cheese, and for its smaller burgers too. But the changes have less to do with the ingredients than with the process of assembling the burgers. After that, I'll show you how to use the English expression fall behind. If you'd like to read the transcripts as you listen, you can do that at plainenglish.com/637. That is thanks to our producer, JR. Outside the kitchen, McDonald's has been on a winning streak. Its mobile app is by far the leading app among quick-serve restaurants, well ahead of Starbucks and leaving its burger competitors in the dust. The chain experienced a nice bump in sales during the pandemic and has held on to those gains even as the pandemic receded. But consumer surveys show that it's falling behind on its signature item, burgers. A recent survey asked consumers for their favorite burgers. McDonald's ranked 13th. Only 28% of survey respondents said they crave McDonald's burgers. That ranking is a bit unfair, as it pits McDonald's against chains like Five Guys, Smash Burger, and Red Robin, all of which are priced higher. These fast casual chains have positioned themselves as more economical and faster than a sit-down restaurant with table service, but they offer higher quality and charge higher prices than do quick-serve restaurants like McDonald's and Burger King. So the quick-serve restaurants realize they need to adapt to keep up with changing consumer tastes. So now the Chicago-based McDonald's is making the biggest changes to its core menu item in decades. They're promising the best burger ever. One thing that's not changing: the ingredients. In 2018, McDonald's switched from cooking frozen beef patties to fresh ones, a change that consumers welcomed. This time, the company is making operational changes to make its burgers more palatable. The changes will apply to the Big Mac, the Quarter Pounder with cheese, and the smaller hamburgers and cheeseburgers. Here's a rundown of the changes they're making. First, consumers said the burgers seemed dry. To combat that, restaurants will adjust the way they grill the patties. Instead of batches of 8, they'll now be grilled in batches of 6, allowing for greater consistency. The burgers are cooked on clamshell-style grills. These cook the patties on the top and the bottom at the same time, so they cook more quickly and more evenly. But the company found that these grills were pressing down too hard on the top of the patties, squeezing the juice out of them. McDonald's says it recalibrated those grills so they better preserve the moisture in the beef. The Big Mac comes with 0.3 ounces of special sauce. The company increased that to 0.5 ounces. That doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a 2/3 increase in sauce. Now, McDonald's says, the sauce will squeeze out into the wrapper and give the Big Mac more flavor. Next, consumers said the burgers didn't feel hot. So now, the bottom slice of a bun will be thicker to hold the heat better. Franchisees will have to clean the toasting machines more frequently so that buns are toasted more consistently. But part of the problem was that McDonald's was putting cold toppings on a hot burger. So the patty might be hot, but the onions and cheese were cold, right from the refrigerator. McDonald's will now be adding onions on the patty as it cooks, so the onions caramelize a little on the grill. They used to put a slice of cold cheese on the burger. Now the cheese will be room temperature, so it melts when placed on a hot patty. There will be changes to the other toppings too. Lettuce and pickles will be kept in smaller containers, so they're refreshed from the coolers more frequently. Finally, the bun is getting a rethink. It will be a buttery brioche-style bun. This bun, the company says, looks better, tastes better, and is less likely to break apart. If your mouth is watering, you might be wondering when you can get a taste of the new McDonald's burger. The company has already implemented its Better Burger strategy in Australia, Belgium, and Canada. And no, they're not going in alphabetical order. The company is rolling it out in the US in early 2024 and plans to implement the new burger strategy in all its global markets. I'm curious. I'm not a huge McDonald's burger fan, but I am curious how these new ones taste. I'll let you know if I find one in my travels. Here's one funny detail. If you look at the top of a Big Mac, you'll see the bun is sprinkled with sesame seeds, as if in the bakery, someone sprinkled them on with their hands. But if you look at 2 Big Macs or 3, you'll notice the sesame seeds are arranged perfectly evenly, almost identical. Well, now the bakeries, which make over 1 million Big Mac buns per day, the bakeries will scatter the sesame seeds in a more haphazard way so that it looks more artisanal. You have to give them credit for creativity. Fall behind or fall behind on means to be slower than expected or to not keep up with peers or competitors. You use this to describe someone or something that's not going as fast as others or not going as fast as it should go. A good way to imagine this is in a race. Imagine you have 5 runners in a race. When the race starts, everyone runs fast together. But after a few minutes, you see one runner pulling ahead. She's running faster than everyone else. 3 runners are running together at a good pace. But you see one runner falling behind. The runner that's falling behind is running slower than the others. He's falling behind. He's not keeping up with the others. He's last. He's slower than the others, slower than the average. He's not where he wants or needs to be. A common way to use this is to say someone is falling behind in school. School is a great example of a situation where everyone is expected to progress together, more or less at the same pace. We know this is not a perfect system. Everyone learns differently. But broadly, students are classified by age, by grade level, and everyone is expected to hit certain milestones, certain objectives as they progress in school. So if a child falls behind at school, that child is not learning at the same pace as the other students. The other students are going faster. But this one student, the one that's falling behind, he is learning more slowly. He's falling behind at school. He's not progressing at the speed that he's expected to. You can get more specific and say a student is falling behind in math or falling behind in science. That was me. Here's a way to know if the economy is bad. How many people are falling behind on their car or credit card payments? If you fall behind on your payments, then you are not making your payments on time. That's a sign that things are going wrong in the economy, right? If too many people are falling behind on their car payments, if they're falling behind on rent, if they're falling behind on credit card payments, if too many people are falling behind like that, then it's bad news for the economy. JR and I, we make 2 plain English lessons per week. I write them and record them. JR produces them and uploads them to all our online services. We do this on a schedule so that you always have new episodes on Mondays and Thursdays. But sometimes I fall a little behind. I don't always keep up with the schedule. Now, if you were listening all the way back to lesson 630, then a light bulb might have just gone off in your head. That's when we talked about the phrasal verb catch up. And catch up is what you do if you fall behind. If you fall behind, if you're slower or not making the progress you need to make, then you can try to catch up. You can do extra so that you're back on schedule. So if I fall behind on creating content, I catch up by writing a couple of lessons one week. What's another situation where you might fall behind? How about in a competition? There's a competition to develop artificial intelligence. Google is the industry leader in search, free email, and much else besides. But Google has fallen behind in artificial intelligence. Google is not keeping up with OpenAI, Microsoft, even Amazon. Google has fallen behind. It needs to catch up. McDonald's is known for its burgers, but a recent survey of consumers in the United States, its home market, showed that McDonald's has fallen behind. Consumers ranked the company's burgers 13th. Ouch. That's not where they want to be. McDonald's does not want to be the country's 13th favorite burger. So because they have fallen behind, the company launched its new burger strategy to improve the taste and consistency of McDonald's burgers. Here's a common thing people tell me, Jeff, I've fallen behind on plain English. I can't keep up. And what I say to them is, don't worry. You don't have to listen to every single episode. It's not a race. You go at your own pace. There's no such thing as falling behind, getting ahead. Just do a little bit. It's not a competition. So if you feel like you're falling behind on English, on this podcast, on anything else, don't be so hard on yourself. It's not a race. So, all right, on that note, we will say goodbye for today. I hope your 2024 is off to a great start. We will be back here on Monday with a new topic. See you then.